He was born clutching a blood clot, a sign the shamans said that he was destined for greatness. But for the boy named Temujin, the future Genghis Khan, life started with anything but greatness. It was a brutal, unforgiving world on the Mongolian steppe, and his early years were a masterclass in survival. Imagine this. You're just a kid, maybe 9 or 10 years old. A minor clan chief is poisoned by a rival tribe. Suddenly, your own clan abandons you, your mother and your siblings, leaving you all to fend for yourselves in the harsh wilderness. No food, no shelter, just the vast, empty plains. This wasn't a storybook adventure. This was Temujin's reality. He and his family survived by eating roots, rodents, and whatever they could forage. He learned to hunt, to track, and most importantly, to never, ever give up. His struggles didn't end there. He was captured and enslaved by the very clan that had abandoned him, forced to wear a wooden collar like an animal. But even in chains, the fire in him never died. He staged a daring escape, a feat that started to build his legend. People began to whisper about this resilient young man who refused to be broken. One of the most pivotal moments in his young life was the kidnapping of his new wife, Bert. For most men of that time, this might have been the end of the story, but not for Temujin. He refused to accept her loss. Instead, he forged a crucial alliance with his father's old friend, a Powgrel, a powerful chieftain, and his childhood blood brother, Jamuka. Together, they launched a successful rescue mission. This victory wasn't just about getting his wife back. It was his first taste of military command, his first major victory, and it announced his arrival as a force to be reckoned with. From this point on, Temujin's rise was meteoric. He began to gather followers, drawn not by noble birth, but by his sheer charisma, his military genius, and his revolutionary ideas. See, back then, Mongolian society was a chaotic mess of warring tribes and clans. Loyalty was flimsy, and betrayals were common. He promoted people based on merit and loyalty, not their family ties. He integrated warriors from conquered tribes into his own ranks, treating them as equals rather than slaves. This created a unified, fiercely loyal fighting force, unlike anything the world had ever seen. He also understood the psychology of warfare. His army, the Mongol horde, was legendary for its discipline, mobility, and tactical brilliance. His horsemen could cover vast distances, appearing as if from nowhere. They were masters of the feigned retreat, luring their enemies into traps before turning to annihilate them with devastating volleys of arrows. He established a sophisticated communication system using riders and relay stations. The Yam, which allowed him to command his vast armies across enormous distances with incredible speed. But his most formidable rival was his own blood brother, Jamuka. What started as a close friendship soured into a bitter rivalry. They represented two different visions for the future of the Mongols. Jamuka favored the traditional aristocratic system, while Temujin championed a meritocracy. Their conflict culminated in a series of battles, with Temujin ultimately emerging victorious. The story goes that Jamuka defeated, asked to be executed in a noble way. Without his blood being spilled, a request Temujin honored. It was a tragic end to a deep bond, but it left Temujin as the undisputed leader. In the year 1206, a great assembly of all the Mongol tribes was called a Kurultai. There, on the banks of the Yanan River, Temujin was proclaimed Genghis Khan, the universal ruler of all the Mongols. He had done the impossible. He had united the fractured, warring tribes of the steppe into a single powerful nation. But unification was just the beginning. Genghis Khan then turned his gaze outward. Why? The reasons are complex. Some historians point to a need to keep his newly unified warriors busy, preventing internal conflict. Others suggest it was about controlling the lucrative Silk Road trade routes. And some believe it was a divine mission, a mandate from the eternal blue sky to rule the world. Whatever the reason, the Mongol conquests began. They swept across northern China, breaching the Great Wall and overwhelming the powerful Jin dynasty. They turned west into Central Asia, toppling the massive Khwarezmian Empire. The scale and speed of their campaigns were terrifying. Cities that resisted were often razed to the ground, their populations massacred. This earned Genghis Khan a reputation for unparalleled brutality, a reputation that often preceded his armies, causing other cities to surrender without a fight. But to only focus on the destruction is to miss half the story. Genghis Khan was not just a conqueror. He was a brilliant administrator and a visionary statesman. Within his empire, he established something remarkable: the Pax Mongolica, the Mongol peace. He secured the Silk Road, making it safer for merchants and travelers than it had been in centuries. Marco Polo's famous journey, for example, would have been impossible without the stability the Mongols provided. He established a written legal code, the Yasa, which among other things outlawed kidnapping women, theft, and adultery. It promoted religious tolerance, granting tax exemptions to the clergy of all faiths, from Buddhists to Christians to Muslims. This was unheard of at the time. He created a writing system for the Mongolian language and established a reliable postal system. In many ways, he laid the foundations for a more interconnected world, a precursor to modern globalization. So, who was the real Genghis Khan? Was he a ruthless barbarian who left a trail of skulls in his wake? Or was he a visionary leader who united a people, created a massive free trade zone, and connected East and West like never before? The truth, as it often is, lies somewhere in the middle. He was a product of his brutal time, and he used brutal methods to achieve his goals. Yet the empire he forged changed the course of world history forever. In 1227, during a campaign in China, Genghis Khan died. The exact cause remains a mystery. Some say it was from injuries after falling off his horse. Others say it was illness. His final resting place was kept a secret, and to this day his tomb has never been found. But his legacy was secure. His sons and grandsons, like Gadai, Kublai, and Hulagu, would continue his conquests, expanding the Mongol Empire until it stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the heart of Europe. It became the largest contiguous land empire in the history of the world, a domain that reshaped maps, cultures, and destinies. From a rejected outcast fighting for survival on the steppe to the ruler of a quarter of the world's population, the story of Temujin, the man who became Genghis Khan, is more than just a tale of conquest. It's an epic testament to the power of will, the force of vision, and the incredible, world-altering impact one individual can have on history. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this journey into the past as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most incredible figures. Let me know in the comments who you'd like to see covered next. See you in the next video.